bakers. Yeah, I'm eating the rest of the Swiss roll because I can. Okay, so you just saw the proper way to eat a Swiss roll. Now we gotta make them. Okay, so here's what you need. Fun thing about this is it's a one bowl recipe. Meaning you have to put everything in a bowl, mix the snot out of it, and then you're almost done. Okay. So in my bowl, chocolate, I have 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I have 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 1/2 cup of flour, 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix until light and fluffy. All right, so we are nice and mixed and super fluffy. Now, the easiest way to do this part is with a non-stick cookie sheet with 4-lipped sides, meaning there's an edge all around, not the ones that kind of dive off. And you are going to non-stick spray the living snot out of this thing. Every inch of this thing needs non-stick spray. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pour your batter in and kind of go like back and forth because we're going to naturally let this level itself out because it needs to be evenly to every nook and cranny of this pan. And it's kind of a patience game. We can help it along, but we kind of gotta let the batter do its job. So clean your bowl out nice and then just kind of tamp it until it gets into every nook and cranny so that way it is 100% covering your entire pan. And then we're gonna pop this into a 375 degree oven for about 4 to 5 minutes. This will cook fast. Remember, it's thin, so this isn't something you can walk away from. You need to pay attention. All right, so see, it's filled to all corners. Pop it in your oven. It can take longer. Remember, not everybody's environment is the ideal cooking time. It may take longer. What you're looking for is that the center of your cake no longer has a sheen, and when you touch it, it doesn't stick to your fingers. Pop it in your oven. Do it. Go. Okay, so my cake is done and out of the oven, but here comes the weird part. So Swiss rolls need to get rolled, and they're super, super flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cake, and we're going to dump it out onto this piece of parchment, okay? Then what we're going to do, trust the process, is we're going to stick another piece of parchment on top of said cake, and we're going to use our cookie sheet, and we're going to press down. Because what we want to do is we kind of want to make it a little bit more dense. Just press and kind of rub. Trust the process. Press and rub. All right, so we've pressed and rubbed our dough, and we now have it flat how we want it. The leftover lip we're going to fold over, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start to roll our cake in on itself, and as tight and as small as you can get it. Now, these are going to make big ones, like kind of fatties. That's okay. The bigger the Swiss roll, the better. Okay, so we're going to roll it like this until it's nice and tight. I'm going to stick a rubber band around this. I'm going to stick it in my refrigerator for an hour and a half until it gets completely cool. We don't want to be frosting a warm Swiss roll. We need it cooled so that way our inside marshmallow cream doesn't melt and our outside chocolate doesn't melt either. All right, bakers. So our cake part has been sitting in the refrigerator for a couple hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to unroll it. But first, on the edge, you're going to have this little crunchy part. And I'm just going to take my little spreading knife and cut that part off. Don't throw it away. Eat it. It's rude and frankly, it's cake abuse if you don't eat it. So we're nice and rolled out, and we're going to put our filling in. This is going to be the same marshmallow filling that we used for our oatmeal cream pies. So it is 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 10 ounces of fluff or marshmallow cream, 3/4 cup of butter flavored Crisco, 2/3 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 teaspoons of extremely hot water. Mixed together until smooth and creamy. So all we're going to do is squeeze it out, and then we're going to spread it so it's a nice thin layer on our cake. And then you guessed it, we're gonna roll it back up. All right, so we're nice and spread out, and we're just gonna roll it back up. But this time, we're not gonna roll the paper into it. We're gonna just roll the cake in itself. So you will get a little bit of like the cake sticking to here. That's fine, we don't need that part. We just wanna roll it up. And if it cracks, don't worry. We're gonna fill it with, cover it with chocolate. So this gets super, super delicious and tasty, just like a real, I should say, Little Debbie Swiss roll. So our Swiss roll is nice and rolled up, but now you have these little ends here that are kind of uneven and don't really work with it. So I'm just gonna chop those off. Those tend to be the crunchy parts of the cake. So I'm just gonna chop those off and of course eat them. And then I'm going to roll this in a clean piece of parchment paper and stick this in the refrigerator, and let's make our chocolate sauce to go on top. Now for the chocolate that's gonna go on the outside of our Swiss roll, what I have is 1 cup of chocolate chips. It's milk chocolate that's around the original Swiss roll. I have semi-sweet, so that's what I'm gonna use. And a tablespoon and a half of that butter flavored Crisco. And we're gonna melt this at 30 seconds at a time until smooth. And you wanna do it 30 seconds at a time because why? Because then your chocolate doesn't seize up. Now for the prep to douse our Swiss roll in chocolate. I have a cookie sheet, a piece of parchment, and then I have a drip tray that I'm gonna put on here. I'm gonna put my Swiss roll on here, and I'm gonna pour the chocolate over it. And that way all the leftover chocolate kind of goes through, and I can reuse it, eat it, reuse it, eat it. All right, take your Swiss roll, put it on your rack, and then start the process of chocolifying it. Make sure you cover the entire thing. You may have to let it rest and turn it over on its side to do the underbelly. But that's why we catch all of that chocolate, so that way we can remelt it, reuse, and get everything covered with chocolate. Set this in the refrigerator for about 5 to 10 minutes to harden up, and then we'll enjoy it. All right, bakers. Big Debbie is out and solid, and this is our Swiss roll. Okay, now I know you may be thinking, Bailey, that is not the same size as the 2-pack of Swiss rolls. This is like the king size. Now, the ultimate test. Oh, we can peel it. Oh yeah, look, she's a peeling. We can peel off that outside. That's what we want. Let me grab a knife. That's test number 1 for the proper way to eat a Swiss roll. Let's cut into this bad boy. Look at that. It looks like a Swiss roll. It acts like a Swiss roll. All right. Does she taste like a Swiss roll? Can we? We can unroll her. Oh my God. It tastes like a Swiss roll. Exactly like it. It's so good. All right, Little Debbie. Handmade, homemade, scratch made, from my heart to yours, Swiss rolls. Try this recipe out and let me know what you guys think. All right, what's next? Keep sending me the ideas.